Good morning, good evening, and good day. You're listening to Dramabuds, an anime podcast. So hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Dramabuds. Guys, it's our 100th episode today. Oh my god, can you believe it? You know what? I'll do the long story of, I can't believe we made it this far. I'll do the sappy stuff later. Okay, let's go straight into the episode. I could have gotten here faster, like 3 months earlier, if I didn't have to take a break because I joined a musical. And wait a minute, isn't that a wonderful segue to our actual topic for today? Yeah, I'm talking about musical dramas today. When I was brainstorming, like, what can I do? What is something that I can talk about that's fun for me, but also fun for you? Because one, I could have just sang. Like, that was a potential episode here. But I realized, like, I have a little bit of dignity left to lose. I won't subject you to that. And the other option was to just talk about musical dramas where people sing and or dance. And yeah, that sounds like a great idea to me. Because I love music. Like, more than anything in the world, I love music. And when it comes to musicals, I have to admit I'm less of a musical theater fan and more of musical movies. I am a child of Disney. More accurately, I am a child of High School Musical, okay? That came out and, it changed my life, essentially. 60% of my life I would attribute to the fact that I watched High School Musical way too many times as a child. And if you ask me point blank, what's your favorite movie of all time? I'd say High School Musical. I'm not joking. It's a comfort watch. The songs, the choreo, it all still hits. And it holds up. I have to say this, it holds up. Anyway, today I just want to talk about some musical dramas that I've watched, the type of music that they featured, what I liked or disliked about them, and also some of my dream musical dramas. Like, if I could pitch this to, K-drama producers and writers out there, hi, please credit me if you ever make a musical drama that's like this. Also, this is not really a video podcast. I just want to show some clips of people singing and dancing. So, this works perfectly if you just listen to it. Anyway, let's start. So I have to talk about why I love musical dramas so much. Because I feel like they get a bad rap for being bad. Like, in general, when you find out that, people are going to start singing and dancing, so it must be bad, which is genuinely a fair assumption. I'm talking about maybe not just musical dramas, musical movies also. I really love movies for this specifically. Even just adapting a musical theater show into a movie, I love those. That's my jam. Anyway, I love musicals, period, in general. Every way of presenting it to the audience. I love musicals because it forces me to shut my brain off. Like, the moment someone starts singing and dancing and everyone around them knows the lyrics and the song and the choreo, the moment it happens, something in my brain just shuts off. And I am left in just pure enjoyment mode. I don't think about, does this make sense? Is this well plotted? Are these characters yada yada yada? Like, all my usual critical thoughts. I mean, I can't fully turn my brain off. I still think about that in retrospect, maybe after I watch the thing. But when I'm watching the thing, what's more important is that I'm having a good time, that I enjoy the spectacle, I enjoy the performances, I enjoy the songs. And as a person who just loves music so much, sometimes I think I like a drama more than I actually do because it has good music, because it has a good OST. And musicals in general have good music. They should have good music. And so I have a bias towards it because people are singing and dancing in front of me and I can't say no to a performance. And, I'm not saying that musicals are exempt from good writing. Like, as long as you sing and dance, doesn't have to make sense. The plot doesn't have to make sense. The characters can be one-dimensional as hell. Doesn't matter, okay? I'm not saying that. I mean, it should still obey the laws of nature. But there's just a greater sense of, suspension of disbelief. It's easier to suspend your disbelief And also, under the principle of if saying it isn't enough, sing it. If singing isn't enough, dance. Under that principle, musicals are inherently more emotional. They are more based on emotion, on expressing emotion. Why does protagonist sing their I want song instead of just saying, I want to see land. I want to see the world of the people who walk on their feet. You could just say it, Ariel. You don't have to spend 3 minutes singing this entire song. But it's such an intense emotion that you just have to break out into song. And so, in general, for something that's more like classic musical theater, the best way to express what you're feeling or what you're thinking is to sing it out loud, to dance. And when people around you start singing and dancing with you, it just feels like you're not the only one sharing this emotion, this feeling. I love how it feels to watch a musical movie and then just feel all those intense emotions. Anyway, you may notice that most of the dramas I'm going to talk about today are from the early 2010s, which I have a theory. I think Korea was trying to make their version of Glee. I think Korea was like, hey, K-pop is also booming, like with the Hallyu wave at that time, with Girls' Generation, Suju, 21, Big Bang. And Glee is super popular in the US right now. And of course, K-dramas have been growing and growing over the years with the Hallyu wave. So like, why don't we make more dramas where people sing and dance? We have K-pop idols to pull talent from. We have the musical theater people. We have just, singers in general. So many talented people from different industries. Why don't we make more musical dramas? I think that's what was happening. Unfortunately, none of these dramas are truly like Glee level bonkers, which I'm surprised and disappointed actually. Why don't we have something as bonkers as Glee that is a K-drama? We're almost halfway there, and especially at this time, like the early 2010s, there were some whack plots and premises coming out, and yet we couldn't make a Glee version. Think of all the K-pop songs, the trot songs, the musical theater songs, the show tunes and everything that you could cover. Guys, we missed the window, and now people, in general are less receptive to musical dramas now. Aw, come on. You may also notice that there are no idol dramas here, like specifically marketed as idol dramas. They're not here. Even though I could talk about Idol the Coup, because I think they just operate in another world already. They're the more modern equivalent of these musical dramas that are often from the early 2010s. Like now we focus on, specifically idols and the training system and fan service and, secret dating among idols, yada, 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 and pursuing your dreams in a tough industry. Like, it feels narrower, like the scope of idol dramas. But musical dramas, you can tell later, they all have very diverse settings. It's not just a performing arts high school. It's not just a competition. It's not just an audition show. It's all pretty different. So as I'm doing these recaps, and I swear I'm gonna make this as concise as I possibly can. I'm really holding back right now. So I'm just gonna talk about basic plot, I guess, the PD writer even, the cast. If you're interested in seeing these actors singing and dancing, you'll find them here. And also how they integrate the musical aspect in the show to make it make sense that they're singing and dancing all the time. And also, like, what kind of music do they feature? Because they don't all feature the same kind of music in their shows. Let's start with Dream High, the mother of all musical dramas. It's definitely not the first of its kind, but to me, this is gold standard. Also, don't watch Dream High 2. No one has ever said anything good about Dream High 2 ever. Only Dream High 1. This is the only one that matters. Anyway, this is directed by Lee Young-bok, Goblin Mr. Sunshine guy, and written by Park Hye-ryun. The writer of I Hear Your Voice While You Were Sleeping, Start Up. It's her. And honestly, this is my favorite work of hers. This and I Hear Your Voice, her earlier works are better than what she's come up with in recent years. Okay? It stars Suzy at like 16 years old. She was a child, okay? Kim Soo-yeon is here. He is the worst performer of them all, but he's the only one who's not an idol, so we give him pass. Taekyun is here. He's the iconic second lead. And IU is here in a fat suit. We have talked about this in my Q1 recap. It is truly tragic. But, IU is IU. Anyway, the plot is that they're in Kirin High School, which trains their students to be performers, like singing and dancing. It's not necessarily an idol training program or anything. And the singers or performers that you could be a soloist, you could be a duet, you could be a co-ed group. It's very murky, honestly, what they're doing for these students. But they are training them to sing and dance. And in the show, the characters just constantly deal with their assignments, their evaluations, their competitions. Like, plot-wise, this thing never stops moving. It's so fun. And also, they sing and dance. Even more fun. What's the music in this show? Well, they have some original stuff. They have the iconic theme song and that iconic flash mob dance that I'm flashing right now. Oh my god, it's a classic. They also have some K-pop covers, some pop song covers. The music it's fine. It's fine. I enjoy this for the show itself, for the plot, for the detailed characters. If we're talking about what I enjoy for the music, I enjoy What's Up more. What's Up is a 2011 drama written by the writer of Healer. So, if you're interested in that. And it stars Im Joo-won. Kim Ji-won is here. This is her second ever role. And guys, can I just say, in this role, she's the typical, she comes from the countryside and she's naive and she's a sweetheart. And, she has this, high-pitched, breathy voice, and she's very annoying actually. If I didn't absolutely love Kim Ji-won and just found her so cute and adorable, she's 19 years old here, she's a baby. If I didn't love her, I'd probably just hate this character to death. And I really thought, she sucks. She was so annoying that I thought, not everyone starts out as a good actress. She earned her place. She's improved over time. And then I saw a clip of her from High Kick 3, which she starred in before this. And her voice was not like that. It was a normal voice, honestly. And wow, Kim Ji-won has always known how to change her voice for her roles. What can I say? That's my Best Actress nominee. I love you, Kim Ji-won. Anyway, also stars Daesung of Big Bang. This was pre-Tonight era, pre-Love Song era. So that's weird to see him here. Jo Jong-suk is here. He is almost exactly like Ik-jun, which means he's been that good since 2011. He's just been that effortlessly charming, wonderful performer. His character here has stage fright, which is a shame because for most of it, he can't, perform all out the way we know he can. But he sells it and is wonderful when he's allowed to perform. Also stars Oh Man-suk. The bad guy from Chloe? Yeah, he's a big musical theater actor. And he's fantastic here. He's honestly my favorite character. Anyway, what's this show all about? Aside from Oh Man-suk, who's the professor, the rest of them are students in the musical theater department with, a bunch of reasons why they can't perform well. I genuinely don't know why they were accepted into this program because many of them really suck and aren't actually singers or actors. And I truly cannot describe the plot of the show because it's not really leading up to anything. It's more character-driven, I think, where they address whatever personal issues and relationship problems they have with their families or with themselves or with their dreams or something. And then they improve and become better performers as a byproduct of addressing their personal issues. And they don't address their problems in order to improve. They just improve as a consequence of the character development. I don't know if I'm selling this well, but it's very interesting and weirdly paced because it's a 20-episode drama, but each episode is around 45 to 55 minutes long. So it's actually faster than you would expect. It moves faster, but it moves in a very weird pace. You don't know what it's leading up to. And honestly, the ending is so bizarre. I will talk about this more in my Q2 recap. Yeah, let's move on. Music-wise, though, I love the music in this show because Imagine this. We start episode 1 with a pickpocket accidentally causing someone to die from a white truck of death. And then he runs away from the crime scene and stumbles into a theater where someone is singing "The Phantom of the Opera is here." And then he just starts crying because he's so affected by the music. And then he decides, I want to be an actor. I'm going to join the theater department of a university. And his friend accidentally signs him up to the musical theater department. And somehow, to audition for the thing, he does like method acting. And the panel is so flabbergasted that they just decide to accept him into the program. And then, in the middle of that, we have some Phantom of the Opera. We have Jigumi Sungan. Yeah, we have some This Is the Moment. There's a lot of musical theater here. We have some Seasons of Love, as I played earlier. That was from What's Up. We have I Don't Know How to Love Him from Jesus Christ Superstar, which is an important theme song for one of the characters and her unrequited love for her professor. We have some K-pop. The clip I played earlier is like a rearranged version of You and I by Park Bom. So clearly they have some ties to YG because this song is also here. The music here is just super diverse and honestly so much fun. Best part of the show.
널 사랑하겠어 언제까지나 널 사랑하겠어 지금 이 순간처럼 이 세상 그 누구보다 널 사랑하겠어.
Next up is a show that I actually dropped, Monstar. This is an example of sometimes great minds can come together, but still the product in itself is bad. Because this is directed by Kim Won-sok PD, director of Missing, Signal, My Mister, Arthdale Chronicles. That's my guy. And one of the lead writers is same writer as Designated Survivor 60 Days, Reborn Rich. And the other lead writer, is the writer of Missing and Idol Doku. Guys, this should be a recipe for success. I should love this. It's bad. It's bad, guys. It's bad. It stars Young Jun-young, the former rapper of Beast/Highlight, Ha Yeon-soo, some girl who is not a good actress, and Kang Han-ul, my beloved. Okay, he's the second lead here. I should love this. It's bad. Basically, the male lead is an idol who gets into a scandal, so he goes back to school because he's a high schooler, supposedly. He goes back to school until the news dies down, and then he meets a girl who's like not instantly in love with him and doesn't know he's famous, and then for some reason he just gets obsessed with her, but still treats her badly, I think. And then they find common ground through music, all of these characters. Based on what I've heard, it's just a lot of him. Like, he is unbearable, this male lead. And also the female lead is also unbearable. So, it's not worth it even if I'm just here for Kang Han-ul. I'm just here for him. So cute here, Men will come and go, actors will come and go, but you're always gonna have one ultimate. And for me, it's Kang Han-ul. Even if I haven't liked any of his projects in years. Still him. Because of his voice. My God, you heard that clip from earlier. He was my age now. In that clip. Kang Han-ul. Kang Han-ul, please. Anyway, let me criticize the show a little bit because I won't be talking about this in my Q2 recap. This PD and these writers, for me, are notorious for long episodes. That's something I've noticed from them. And even if this is 12 episodes, they're all 1 hour and 20 minutes or even 1.5 hours now. They came together and they all decided, no, we don't edit. We do not trim down our episodes. I can't deal with it. But, if this is the project that led to Kang Han-ul getting cast as Jang Baeki in Missing, then so be it. Music-wise, I think this had a mix of Korean music, some K-pop, sometimes even some classical pieces. Like, they pretended that they were performing classical music because there was an orchestra aspect in the show, I think. I couldn't even skip around for the music part. It's that bad. Moving on, we have Persevere Goo Hae Ra, which surprisingly I finished. This is a 2015 drama directed by the PDs of Superstar K and the Produce series. the one who got arrested. And it's written by variety show writers mostly. So yeah, you could expect that the writing's bad and the acting not great either. Stars Min Yorin, who I love her voice. She has a very nice voice. Terrible actress. Kwak Shi-young, this is his first role. Watch this for him in early last year. So, oh my god. Not good acting either. Not good singing or performing also. I truly don't know how he ended up here. Also stars B1A4 Jin Young, who not good either. No one was good here. This was bad. This was just purely bad. This is why people believe musical dramas are bad. Anyway, the plot of the show is that they audition for Superstar K. Obviously, the PD of Superstar K knows a lot about that process. They audition for that, and they're put together into a co-ed a cappella singing group. So, they're one directioning here. There's a childhood friends to lovers trope. There's a long-lost twin who only appears after his twin has died. And someone leaves the group as an individual because they're scouted by, an idol company. It's tropey. It's not good. But the music, I gotta say, they have a lot of K-pop covers. We got some Girls' Generation. We got some G.O.D. Guys, we have G.O.D. covers here. And a lot of a cappella performances, acoustic performances. The music is actually really nice. And then we skip around for 5 years. I haven't heard of a lot of musical dramas until Hospital Playlist, which technically should not fit in this genre. I have to admit that. But I want to talk about Hospital Playlist because they sing in every episode. So is that not a musical drama? So if you didn't know, this is Shin PD and Writer Lee, the team behind the Reply series and Prison Playbook. Stars Jo Jong-sok, Jeon Mi-do, Yoo Yoon-sok, Jung Kyung-ho, Kim Dae-myung. Huge ensemble cast. It's about 5 friends since med school who are now in their late 30s working in the same hospital, and they decide, hey, remember when we had a band years and years ago? Let's just do that for fun again. Why don't we just start practicing for fun? And the music here is band covers of like older Korean music. I can't call it K-pop. It's just older Korean music. The music is really, really good. And if you didn't know, they made the actors actually learn how to play their instruments. Like, Jo Jong-sok is a classically trained guitarist, so he's fine. Jung Kyung-ho had to learn how to play the lead guitar. Jeon Mi-do had to play the bass. Kim Dae-myung had to learn the piano. Yoo Yoon-sok had to learn how to play the drums. Basically, there's a lot of effort behind this. Even if they're not singing and dancing like the other musical shows, they all learned how to play instruments, which is just as difficult, honestly. And it made a very fun environment that, I miss them. I miss them a lot. I miss loving cosplay. And lastly, the most recent musical drama I could think of is The Sound of Magic. This has the same PD as Love in the Moonlight, Itaewon Class, and the writer of School 2015, Love in the Moonlight, stars Ji Chang-wook, who is actually a musical theater actor. Like years and years and years ago, when they were young, he and Kang Han-ul, they had a very interesting musical together. Also stars Choi Sung-woon, does she also have a musical background? I think she did. I think she studied theater and film in university. And also stars Hong In-yup, who I don't think has a musical background, if I recall correctly. It's basically about a neglected teenager who meets a magician who tries to make her believe in magic and happiness again because she's struggling to sustain herself and her sister without the help of her absent father, and she's growing up too fast and she doesn't know how to be happy anymore, something like that. This is the closest we have to like pure musical theater, not Glee type of musical theater, like actual stage musical theater turned into a drama. We have original songs, all original songs, and then, yes, they burst into song randomly when the emotions are too high for them to just say it out loud. But I have to say, the music here is very boring. It's not memorable at all. Most of them are like the same sad, slow songs, like more ballads. And the ones that are memorable to me are, yeah, of course, the ones that are more on the spectacle, the high energy performances. And so those are all the musical dramas that I've watched so far. You never know. One day I might just pick up even more obscure dramas from the 2000s or the early 2010s. Or maybe someday someone's gonna make the musical drama of my dreams, which we're now gonna talk about. Okay, so these are my dream musical dramas. I am pitching this to, the K-drama producers, the writers out there. Guys, if they make this come true, I'm gonna be the happiest girl in the world. Dream musical drama number 1. Soundtrack number 3, with director Kim Hee-won, starring Kang Han-ul, obviously. It's my wish fulfillment, so I want Kang Han-ul. And you know what? Let's make this the Kang Han-ul Kim Ji-won reunion project. After To the Beautiful You, after they kissed in the airs, you know what? Let's give them a musical drama reunion. It's a win-win-win-win-win for me. What's the story? I want them both to be musicians. Because in soundtrack number 1, I don't even know why they marketed that as a music drama. I remember them marketing it as a music drama. And there was no singing there, okay? There was barely any music involved, aside from the fact that Han So-hee was a songwriter. I want them both to be musicians, and I want them to sing, and then I want them to fall in love. And it's easier now because Kim Ji-won has worked with Kim Hee-won PD. So, we're getting there. One step closer to my dream. Pitch number 2. This is more detailed now. Okay, sit down with me. I love High School Musical, right? Favorite movie of all time. And what I love about it is that it actually has a theme. It's actually trying to say something, right? That, these teenagers are so restricted by what people think of them, by, sticking to the status quo. And so they're unable to experiment, to explore, and to express themselves. So what's kind of a teenage societal issue in Korea that we could address and then answer with music? And so, of course, it has to be the competition, the need for academic achievement, the strict parents, and the intense competition that drives students to study day in, day out. And why not combine, High School Musical / Glee with Sky Castle? Yeah, so my pitch is High School Musical meets Sky Castle, where, we have teenagers running themselves to the ground, trying to study, trying to succeed, and then they discover that their school has a glee club, and they just try it out, and they, find friendship, and they find themselves, and they have a stress reliever. They have something else they're interested in other than succeeding, which is not necessarily for them, Sometimes you're just doing it out of obligation or because you're raised that way. But they finally found something that's for them and not for their parents, not for their future, but for who they are now as children. And that's it. That's my brilliant pitch. High School Musical / Glee meets Sky Castle. And pitch number 3, which I think is the most fun. So, you know how Shin PD has the play series, right? Prison Playbook, Hospital Playlist. Why not Theater Playbill? Hometown Playbill. Something Playbill. Am I not absolutely brilliant? Come on. Okay, picture this. It has every Shin PD element that you can think of. Okay, so imagine like a small local community. I don't want to necessarily say countryside, but yeah, just imagine like a small community, and then we have a group of friends that are maybe in their late 20s, early 30s, and they're all still living in that small town. Or maybe some of them aren't. Some of them come from like the big city and go back to their neighborhood that they grew up in. And they got the license to stage a production of something. And they want to do it in their local community. So the actors can be, their old friends who are still in the neighborhood, people they grew up with, or even the teenagers that are there who want to experiment and want to do something else with their time. And then how do we involve other members of the community? Because Shin PD's shows are all about this big sprawling cast, this warm and loving community coming together somehow. The moms can be, they can make costumes and provide meals during rehearsals. The dads can be the ones building the sets, or maybe they're also repairing this old theater in the neighborhood that hasn't been used for many decades. And that opens up, there's a group of halmonis and harabojis who, are reminiscing on the old days and how they used to have memories when they would watch productions here. And, this town used to be so much livelier before. And now this group of kids, they're bringing back the energy in our community. Of course, we have students, right? So their teachers can also be another group of people that we follow their lives day to day. Casting-wise, I can't fully come up with a full cast, but I would number one, of course, I want Kang Hanul to be here. Of course, I want Kang Hanul here. But also, I kind of want IU. I'm thinking, who do I want to be inducted into the Shin PD universe? Who's an actor or actress who I just want you to have a good time for once in your life. I really want IU to have a good time. I think she deserves a nice, relaxing project that feels like home, where she just makes friends and everything. I want that for her. She deserves all the love in the world. That's a perfect setup for all of the family, friends, community vibes. And then, maybe every episode we get audition montages, or we get flashbacks to, when the older people watched productions before. We could have them practicing the songs from the actual production that they're staging. And the finale episode could be, them actually staging the production and then showing it to people. Or with many of these dramas or movies, it's not so much the final product that matters. It's not the destination, it's the journey, it's the friends who made along the way. And so that's all that matters. You don't really know if, does the show do well? Do they actually break even with all the money they've invested into, reviving their theater community? Doesn't matter. So what matters is that they came together for something again as a community. Right? Perfect Shin PD show. Hey, Shin PD writer Lee, you better credit me. I'm watching you if you end up doing this. Lawyer up if you plan on taking this idea from me.
너에게 난 해질녘 노을처럼 한편의 아름다운 추억이 되고 소중했던 우리 푸르던 날을 기억하며 후회 없이 그림처럼 남아주기를.
So that's it for me today. That's it for me and my love for musical dramas. No matter how bad they could be, guys, we need more singing and dancing in K-drama. I don't see why we don't view this as a net positive in general, okay? So many people would be much happier if we just sang and danced more often. But, okay, you've made it to the end of the episode, which means I can do, all the sappy messages about, getting to the 100th episode of the podcast, which is truly, it's crazy. So if you didn't know the full story, of this podcast, this all began when I took a K-drama class from the College of Mass Communications in third year, first sem of the pandemic. We analyzed Crash Landing on You, Chicago Typewriter, and Missing, with plot, characters, themes. And I feel like by describing that, you understand why I'm like this. Why do I look at everything that I watched like that? It's because I'm studying everything as if I'm presenting it to you in class. So forgive me if, it does sound like I'm presenting an essay in class, because that's my mindset coming to every drama that I review on this podcast. And okay, so I made it towards the end of the sem, and then when everything was over, I posted in like our class forums. I plugged the podcast. I was like, you know what? I'm never gonna see these people ever again. Might as well plug my podcast there. It's like, hi. So I made a podcast and here's my episode on Miseng, which we studied in class. And then my prof, my very, very kind prof, like offered to promote it on her K-drama page on Facebook. And yeah, I was like super grateful for that. But you know, she didn't post it yet until much later. We'll get to that later. And so, okay, whatever. I was just making the podcast. It was only supposed to be like 4 episodes long. And then November happened. And I watched so many good dramas. That was the month of Hot Stove League, My Mister, It's Okay, That's Love. Like, what a great month for me, November 2020. So I just kept making episodes. It just, it just kept coming out. And then, yeah, start of 2021, so many good older dramas that I watched and reviewed. And at some point, I realized, like, well, where's this going anyway? Might as well just stop the podcast in episode 20. It was supposed to stop end of March. And then one day, I checked my stats. And it just exploded. Like, the streams exploded. It's like, from, 2-3 listens per day, suddenly I got like 1,000 listens. 700 listens in a week. And I truly did not understand. 20 episodes in, what happened? I checked my prof's Facebook page. She posted about it. I don't know if that's exactly the thing that caused all of this, but if it is, hi ma'am. Thank you so much for that little plug. Now we know how far that has taken me. A little thing like that can take someone from 20 episodes to 100. And then, yeah, I just kept going. And then Anim approached me and like, we're here now. And it's really, it's weird to think of how far we've come, how many dramas I've watched. And the thing is, if you ask me like, oh, where's the podcast gonna go next? Babes, I don't know. I've said this in like another episode, but I don't see past 6 months in the future. And 6 months is a generous time frame. I just enjoy reviewing dramas as I do now. I enjoy talking about dramas as if I'm still in class and I'm still presenting to you a literary criticism. And as long as I keep having fun with that, we're gonna keep seeing more of that. What else? There's actually a recording of me singing one of the songs that I used as a transition here, but like I got too shy. Okay, I'm a little too shy right now, guys. And my limits pala yung kakapalan ng mukha ko. So we're not there yet. Maybe in my 150th episode or the 3rd anniversary of the podcast. Who knows? Who knows when you're gonna hear that? But when I muster some courage, you'll hear me sing someday. I love music, I love K-dramas, and I love working on this podcast. So I'm just very grateful for anyone who has ever listened to the podcast, ever shared it to other people. Thank you, seriously. Thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed me gushing over musicals. That's it for me today. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you soon.
Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, follow, and tell me what you thought about today's episode. See you soon!